Richard,
Patrick,
I need you to officiate something here.
go on. Run it by me. Hit me.
Big brain alert.
All right. Because you're a married guy now, and this has to do with gentleman's etiquette. Oh, and you are a gentleman because you, from London, you walk around with your bowler hat and in the whistle, by the way.
Twirling a cane.
Yeah, in the whistle. So for the people that, whistle and flute. There you go. So for the people who don't know what I'm talking about, when I communicate with Richard, I will send Richard a message, and Richard responds back in English that I have no clue what he's talking about. So I asked Richard, I said, I found this picture. You have the smile. I like this picture. He sends back and says, am I in the whistle? Now, I don't have I shouldn't have to use Google Translate to translate English into English. So,
but it's different. You guys have slang, right? You have words that, like unofficial words for things. Surely. Like vehicle, car, four-wheeler, quad bike. And other stuff. You must have other stuff as well. Like
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. But you got to admit that you got to step it up. You kick it up a notch.
Yeah, Cockney rhyming slang.
You can't what?
Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I just greeted you a minute ago to start the meeting, you said, I said, how are you doing? As much as I ever were. And I'm pulling out Google Translate. What the frick he's talking about?
You missed out a bit. You're robbing the listeners of context.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, how about tickety boo? I asked you once, I text, how are you doing? I got back tickety boo. Now, how is a guy from South Mississippi, what am I going to do with tickety boo? No clue what was going on there. For our listeners, tickety boo means all is well, correct?
Yeah, it does. And look, don't like that. Look, that's not a bit of English I'd like. It's not something that comes up in conversation often, but because of our transatlantic relationship, I sometimes deliberately use words that I know you won't know what they mean.
Doing it on purpose.
I'm helping you grow.
I am growing. Because I am the only guy, because I pick up on it. Americans, as I have noted before, Americans will get around British and we start talking British. We start using the same slang. British don't do that. Like you remember Madonna married Guy Ritchie. 6 months later, you think she grew up in Notting Hill.
Yeah.
So here I am walking around South Mississippi and someone, some country boy asked me how I'm doing. Tickety boo, mate.
Yeah, man.
So I appreciate you expanding my vocabulary, but everybody's thinking I'm quite the oddball when I'm walking around. Oh, and in the whistle, so people will know, in the whistle means a suit.
Yeah, whistle and flute means suit.
Makes perfect sense. Who wouldn't go whistle? Oh, whistle and flute. Got to be talking about wearing a suit.
Yeah, man. It's poetry. It's poetic. We're a poetic people.
Right. You had Shakespeare and all of that. Although I just watched a documentary. I don't know if you've ever seen this, that said Shakespeare might have actually been a fraud.
A fraud? Oh, you mean he don't?
No, it wasn't Shakespeare. It was another guy that did it. Another guy was writing all of it. That Shakespeare had no education. Shakespeare had none of these things, but another guy was actually doing all the writing, and then he got Shakespeare. It had to do something with politics or something that
Yeah. I've heard this. That it was like some kind of high up in society type guy, and being a writer, like writing plays and stuff, would not have like fitted his position in society. So he did it all through like a proxy.
Yes.
Right.
And it all
heard this.
Yeah, and it didn't become big till later on. So, back to my original topic. Please. You being the gentleman, and you are in a whistle, and a flute, quite a bit. I'm assuming. I hung, when I got out of the corporate world, I hung up all my whistles and flutes. I kept one in case somebody died. And I whipped that thing out, about once or twice a year, and somehow, thank God, it still fits. But here's my dilemma. So I'm walking around the neighborhood. We live, I live way out in the middle of nowhere, but I live in a gated community, and it's big, huge lake. Some of us live here around the clock. Some are antisocial folks like myself who would never leave the house if I didn't have to live here, and some just are weekend places. Matter of fact, I had a Major League Baseball player just move in right across the water over there. They can drop all this money on a house that they come to twice a year. But the point I'm getting at is very quiet place. So we go walk the dogs around the neighborhood. So we're strolling around the neighborhood, and as will happen with a man, I quite often feel the need to itch. And when a man has to itch, the most common place that we have to itch is, how am I going to say this? Our hinter regions. You follow me?
Okay, I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's proper.
I'm not sure I want to be. I feel like I'm following you somewhere I don't want to really go.
Okay. Well, don't. Okay.
I'm with you. I understand.
You see where we're going with this, because it's a man thing. Let's don't act like it's just not. So as we're walking through the neighborhood, I have one dog. My wife has another dog. And my wife, one of her lifelong missions has been try to keep me from embarrassing myself in public. So I start taking care of my itch, walking down the road. There's nobody anywhere around. And immediately, hey, stop that. You can't do that in public. I'm like, well, I'm not in public. There's nobody around here. She said, there's ring cameras. You just showed up on half the ring cameras in this neighborhood, scratching your hinter regions.
Yeah.
So, what am I supposed? So, should I not? Should I just take this mile-long walk, not taking care of my itch? I didn't think I was being out of line. What's your opinion?
Well, there's ways of doing it, isn't there? Like, I hear you. Like, when the need comes up, the need comes up, right? And I do appreciate that. Right, it's a long walk. I think it's about how you do it, Pat. Like you drop back, just drop back out of eye line. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's it. There was nobody. I meant there's not a soul.
No.
She's saying ring cameras.
Drop back out of her eye line. Yeah, that's what I would do. And have done and will do many times. Just drop back, like pretend that something's caught your eye, like, whatever, right? Like, pretend you've got to tie your shoelace or something and just go for it, man.
Step up in the woods. I got you.
Yeah.
That is the spirit that the massive cerebrum has just solved it. Just don't let her know. Don't let her see. And if I end up starring on some ring camera video with a neighbor, they should be voyeurs. So
no one cares, man. Like no one else cares. And like I experience, I get it. It's like
you're married again.
Different value systems. It appears.
That's it. So you solve the problem. Speaking of the problems that we want to solve, when you're in the States, have you gone to the grocery stores in the States?
Man, like the food, like your food prices are like astronomical. Like I nearly had a heart attack, and I was in Walmart. So I went into Walmart thinking, oh, this is, because we know about Walmart bought one of our big like supermarket chains, and everyone, thought it was the best thing that ever happened to the UK. But then nothing really changed. But with this particular supermarket chain, but anyway, like I went to Walmart imagining it was going to be this kind of like decadent palace of like cut price everything. Do you know what I mean? And I was staggered, man. Do you know what I mean? Like absolutely staggered by the prices there. So yeah. I'm familiar with Walmart. I've shopped in one of the Hattiesburg Walmarts many times. So yeah, familiar, and I've probably walked the same aisles as you, Patrick, which is, a nice feeling.
Yeah, that's kind of stunning. I'm very surprised that our food prices are that much higher, which might play into the test we're about to do, because I would have thought our food prices would be a lot lower. I mean, we grow so much food here, we produce so much food here, and you're saying the prices are astronomically higher. That's amazing. What was the second thing that you noticed? Okay, let me help you out here. People are massively large in the aisles of Walmart.
Well, yes, they are. I mean, I didn't know if that was a Mississippi thing, because if you look at your, like, you know, like all of your, like the foods, it's like fried this, fried that, fried that. You've got a hush puppy, which like is just like fried stuff. Like, so yes, I have.
We dip the hush puppies in this mayonnaise thing called tartar sauce just to add some calories. That's a fair assumption. In the South and places like Mississippi, we do seem to be a good bit larger. But the overall point that I'm making is that we are constantly hearing these days about ingredients in our food. I don't know if that has anything to do with weight gain, or it might be what you say, what we eat, that we fry everything. But the ingredients, people, we've heard, I don't know if you have, but over in England, a box of cereal has this ingredients, and over in America, this is what's in the exact same ingredients.
Yeah, you have stuff in your food that is illegal over here, 100%. And like, there's things that are in your food that, like, in this country, people wrap in bits of cling film and sell on street corners. You know, like, it's like mental. Like 100% crazy. Yeah.
Well, I've heard that. So we're going to do a little test. Did you happen to fulfill your class assignment today?
Yes, I have brought some bread with me.
Okay.
And I have also got a cereal box, which is a generic version of a well-known, we call it crunchy nut cornflakes. I think.
Good.
You might call it like honey nut.
Yeah, honey nut. Yeah, something with a little sweetener in it. All right, so we're going to read and we're going to compare these ingredients. And I want to go with the bread first, because this is something that has puzzled me, because this is a loaf of bread, great value, right out of Walmart, which by the way, in America, a great value to me, being a guy from South Mississippi, great value is a great product. What Walmart does is they go out and they hack the best products out there, and then they replicate it and they call it great value. So it's all good. This isn't bashing Walmart by any stretch of the imagination. Love Walmart. Grading on the curves, you do save a good bit of money at Walmart. So I took this loaf of bread, got down. I'm like, it's been sitting out for a while. I'll just sit it over there. I'm not worried about what happens to the bread. I'm just going to use it to read these ingredients when I talk to Richard the next time. But a funny thing has happened. This loaf of bread has been sitting there for a couple of weeks, and it's not molded at all.
Yeah, that's not right, man. That's not right.
I mean, if you just took a baked piece of bread and set it on your counter, within a week, it's going to start turning into a science project. This piece of bread doesn't have a loaf on it, doesn't smell. It's just not going anywhere.
You can tell, like, no little spots of mold, nothing. Check out the slice, man. Inspect it. Because this has got to be, if we're going to do this, Patrick, we've got to do it right.
See it. Our listeners can't see it, but just go ahead. Sorry?
We're not doing this half-assed, Patrick. I mean, this is science. Yeah?
Okay. Can you see this piece of bread?
Yeah, I can.
All right. To our listeners, what are you seeing?
It looks like perfectly fresh. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, I'd consider that a sandwich ready. Is it edible?
Yeah.
Go on. Demonstrate.
You want me to prove it?
Take a mouthful. Come on.
Okay. What if I start projectile vomiting or something? Right. I'm gonna take a small bite. Right.
You're like a test monkey. Yeah.
I have been a test monkey quite often throughout my younger.
You know, like the monkey, like strapped to a rock.
Here, y'all take this.
Space.
No, McCool will take it. He'll sniff it.
Will take it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's that? I don't know. McCall's already eating it.
Yeah. I don't know, but he's staring at a Billy Joel album and he's swearing his face keeps moving. I don't know if we're going to take this.
How is it? Taste-wise? Moist?
Yeah. Fine.
Would you make a sandwich from it?
Yeah. It hasn't degraded at all.
Okay.
I don't think this is a good idea, Richard. But It's good. I figured you were going to do that, but look at it. There's nothing. It just hasn't degraded, and that's strange.
Okay, it's strange, right? So what are we
Okay.
doing? Getting to the bottom of why this is.
Okay. I'm going to read the ingredients on this, and then I want you to read the ingredients on the bread there. So all of our listeners that have heard this on the internet, we're going to get to the bottom of this right now. All right. So the ingredients in this is enriched wheat flour, flour malted barley flour, reduced iron, niacin, thiamine, mononitrate, vitamin B,
Yeah.
riboflavin, vitamin B1, folic acid, water, sugar, yeast, vegetable oil, soybeans, salt, calcium, propionate.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Calcium propionate, and it says preservative. And then we have monoglycerides, datum, soy lectin, citric acid, grain vinegar, wheat gluten, potassium iodate, calcium sulfate, monocalcium phosphate, and sesame seeds. How does that compare?
I mean, it's similar. Like, there's definitely things in there we haven't got. Like, we've got fortified wheat flour, wheat, calcium carbonate, iron, niacin, thiamine. I mean, they're all vitamins, but I don't think you can kind of quickly. No, that's not a problem. Water, yeast, salt, spirit vinegar, wheat protein, preservative, calcium propionates. We do have that. Soya flour, vegetable oils and fat, rapeseed oil, palm fat, palm oil, emulsifier, a flour treatment agent. So it's definitely got less in it. It's not as absurd as I would have thought, you know.
Surprising.
This is a week old. It's past its best. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't make a sandwich from that. I might toast it, yeah, but I wouldn't make a sandwich from it. But I'm quite fussy. The thing is,
I see a little white on the top. Does that look like it? It looks like it's kind of starting to mold a little bit.
Nah, that's the flour. See, this is, and this, I don't want to, you know, I'm in no way trying to kind of elevate myself. Yeah, it's stale, bit stale, man. I'm not in no way trying to elevate myself above you, like on a socio-economic spectrum or just in terms of class. But we know, obviously, we you know, we're very different people, Pat, right? But like, this isn't bread I'd normally buy. I would normally buy the more, let's say, like, refined loaf, which would have 3 ingredients in. Do you know what I mean? So, like, and that's what my wife makes us buy as well, you know, because she's quite kind of particular around that stuff. This is actually the bread that we get for my stepdaughter. So we normally eat, like, do you have sourdough? Do you have sourdough? Sourdough?
Yeah.
Do you know what sourdough is? Yeah, so we normally get that stuff.
And you give the bad stuff to the children. I'm feeling it. There you go. Look, Shireen, put this up here. Don't let these little varmints. You know what I mean? They got their whole life in front of them. They can get jobs, and then they can go buy the sourdough and extra wheat, but chemical stuff because it's a lot cheaper.
Me and the stepdaughter, like, there's more. It's more like she wants that stuff rather than the other stuff. But like, me and the stepdaughter have an interesting relationship around food. So like, I will often hide food from her because I want to eat it. You know, I want to eat it myself. And like the other day, I bought some Squares bars, which are like these kind of marshmallowy, like, you know, like sweet kind of treat bars, and hid them. Right, but then I forgot where I'd hidden them, and then I couldn't find them. Right, like, so I was like, Darcy, where's my? You know, what have you done with my Squares bars? And she's like, she's trying to tell me that she hasn't eaten them, but because she thinks it's so funny that I've hidden these bars and now can't find them, like a squirrel, like hiding nuts for the winter and then forgetting where they are. So she keeps laughing. So I'm like, kind of pretty convinced that she's eaten them. Yeah, but it's all right. I'm a bigger, you know, it's fine. You know, like, I can move past that. Yeah, like I've got Jesus in my life. Jesus taught us to forgive, like, so I'm going to kind of forgive her for eating my squares bars. Anyway, about a month later, I found them. Like I'd hidden them behind some kind of random object in like a non-food based cupboard, and there they were, my squares bars. They were nice. They felt better. It felt like a victory of sorts.
And everybody hides food, so don't feel bad. If you're married, for example, Shireen probably has a candy stash. Women have candy stash. They like the good stuff. Like the candy bars will be out on the counter, but like the really good chocolate stuff, that's going to be under her mattress, stuffed in a shoe in the back. If you come across it, Richard, don't say anything. Don't take any. She knows exactly how many's there. Don't try to be cute, and start, hey, Shireen, I think I figured out why your Jenny Craig program's not working.
Man, no, she's not like that, man. Like, she's very giving. I mean, very giving. And do you guys, because we're recording this on Easter Saturday, do you guys have Easter eggs? Do you know what an Easter egg is?
Yeah, we have Easter egg hunts.
Chocolate eggs.
Oh, we have like the Cadbury eggs.
Oh, yeah,
Cadbury's. Yeah, that's got to be a British thing, right?
Yeah, Cadbury's is British, man. Yeah.
My wife's favorite is Cadbury's. If I can find Cadbury eggs around Easter time and bring some home, I'm a hero. I'm a total hero.
So my diet for the last 3 days has really consisted of chocolate eggs, if I'm honest.
Fantastic.
Yeah, largely consisted of chocolate eggs, punctuated with a couple of visits to the gym and then coming home to eat more chocolate eggs.
More chocolate eggs. Fantastic. Yeah. Do they have the cream in them or they're just the chocolate?
Some have cream in, some have chocolate, some have like a pistachio filling, which is very in vogue here at the moment. But look, let's get back to this bread.
Yeah, okay. Right? Go ahead.
Let's return to the bread. So my questions are, right, one, there's something in that bread that has stopped it going off, that has preserved it. Yeah? Two, what impact does that have on brain function and IQ? These chemicals, what are they doing? What are they doing to you personally, but also your nation?
Yeah. Rates of illness, things like that, but I don't know. That's why we're doing this test here.
This is science, man.
This is science. Let's go to the cereal box. The ingredients. I have a cinnamon toasters cereal. So it's going to be a kind of a sweet, something similar to what you have, although what you have might be a little helpful than this.
I think this is going to be, I think this might be revealing, because as I understand, I mean, like a lot of your cereals are like just kind of boxes of chemicals and colorings and stuff.
Let's read it and see. So the ingredients will be whole grain wheat, sugar, rice, flour, canola, and or soybean oil, maltodextrin, fructose, cinnamon, salt, calcium, carbonate, dextrose, soy lecithin, trisodium phosphate, caramel color, TBHQ, and BHT added to preserve freshness. What is TBHQ? Is that something that has a parade or something?
Let's have a look, man. TBHQ. It doesn't sound good though, Pat. I'm not going to lie.
It doesn't. You're right. It sounds like
it is TBHQ in food.
Yeah. Hey, I'm TBHQ. Sounds like you might have a parade,
Okay, so TBHQ, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, is a synthetic antioxidant used as a preservative to extend the shelf life of processed foods, vegetable oils and animal fats by preventing rancidity. Common synonyms include E319, tert-butyl-1, 4-benzenidiol, and INS number 319. And then this is a link to an article called The Potential Dangers of TBHQ.
Yeah, there we go. Holy smokes.
Yeah, man. This is serious stuff. Yeah.
They don't. If they spelled out what the TBHQ meant, it would take up half the box. So it's just TBHQ. We grab it, add some milk, go on about our business.
TBHQ can't account for more than 0.02% of the oils in a food because the FDA doesn't have evidence that greater amounts are safe. Whoa. This is serious stuff, man. Do you know what I mean? A well-designed government study found that this evident. This isn't funny. The additive increased the incidence of tumours in rats. Yeah, that's serious, man. That's serious.
Kids
There's all
that are
sorts of
listening
other
now.
facts. Why do you guys do this to yourselves, man? How did it get to this?
I'm just now finding out that this is a real thing. People started talking about this was going on. I figured there's one way to figure it out, and that's by doing a comparison with you. What do you have? What's in the cereal that you have?
Nothing like that. Maize, sugar, peanuts, honey, salt, caramelized sugar syrup, barley malt extract, iron, niacin, pantothenic acid, vitamins. That's it.
Pretty much vitamins in food, and we have all
Vitamins and
this
actual
weird.
food. Yeah,
Yeah,
vitamins and actual food.
wow, we have this weird stuff. TBHQ. What is BHT?
I'm scared to look really. I'm scared for you. I'm scared for your nation.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's
Oh, did you say what's BHQ? I mean, it must be the same.
no
as
BHT. BHT.
BHT. This is bad, man. Butylated hydroxytoluene. Considered safe in low amounts by the FDA, it's controversial, with some studies linking it to potential toxicities leading to restrictions in some countries. And I'm going to Wikipedia, there's a picture of a molecule.
Never good when you see a picture of a molecule.
Nah, it looks very similar to the molecule for crystal meth, which I know that obviously you're very familiar with from your work in the meth labs. Whoa. Also known as dibutyl hydroxytoluene, and a linophilic organic compound, a derivative of phenol. BHT is widely used to prevent free radical mediated oxidation in fuels and oils. Wow.
Fuels and oils.
They put it in petrol.
This is in our food.
Yeah, man, this is bad. Dangers, applications, health effects. Drug, national. Oh, actually, it looks like it's maybe slightly better. The National Cancer Institute determined it was non-carcinogenic in mice. Yeah,
It's not comforting.
it's kind of better, really. I mean, there's a list of like 40 academic studies into this stuff, which I mean, sort of suggest if you're putting stuff into food that has this level of scrutiny, that like suggests that maybe there's a problem here.
I don't want 40 studies on my food.
No, man.
If there's 40 studies, that means it's controversial. Why can't I just eat? So I think, kids, what we have learned today is we have bread that doesn't mold for some reason, and holy smokes, what they're putting into a regular cereal. And who's eating this cereal? It's not most adults that are eating the cinnamon toasters. It's kids.
But that raises an interesting question, Patrick. Yeah. So you and Gwen live in your house, in your gated compound. Yeah.
Right.
But your children do not live with you. Yes or no?
No, they do not. No, they're grown.
They're grown up. Yeah.
Right.
But
they have kids.
But they have kids. But so what you have a child, by your own admission, a child's food stuff in your house where you and your wife live.
Right.
Why?
Because the grandkids will come over. We have the 5-year-old that comes over quite a bit. So what would good grandparents do if they weren't poisoning their grandchild?
So you're having a go at me for feeding my stepdaughter cheap bread, yeah? And like, while you're like pumping your grandchildren full of this nonsense.
Okay. Well, here's the difference. You're doing it on purpose. You see, I didn't know. I am going to go downstairs, walk out of the studio, look at my wife and go, ixnay on the cinnamon toasters, and tell Sawyer's mother that this is what's going on in this particular cereal. Because this
man.
is, but you are purposely picking up the nice loaf
That's what she wants.
over on the baker's counter, and then you're going down the cheap aisle and you're getting the cheap stuff for the stepdaughter. If you can't see the difference.
She has access to both, Pat. She has access to both. It's just that's what she prefers, so we try and meet her where she's at. So we try and meet her where she's at. But yeah, like it's like a lot of stuff in the States, right? Like it's like we don't advertise drugs on our TV programs. Yeah, like like pharmaceuticals. Like we don't have commercials for pharmaceuticals in our country. They're illegal. That's not a thing that you do because it's seen that would be a bad thing. Whereas over there, like every other advert is like for like some kind of drug, right? Like.
Every other one. And what it does is they come on and they list the one thing that it will help you with, and then 14 things that will kill you. And it always ends with anal leakage. I'm out at anal leakage, and that's a bridge too far. You know what I'm saying? Just no, we're not gonna do the anal leakage. I'm not risking that, to lose a couple pounds or get a rash off my face or something like that.
Yeah. Like I saw an advert for an antidepressant over there. One of the side effects it listed was like suicide.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
You know what it is?
What's that?
It's the TBHQ, dude. That's what it is.
That's it. The TBHQ. Okay. I think we have solved it there. All right, Rich. Hey, I have got an idea. Right before we go, I got an idea. This is something that can make us big. All right, are you musically inclined?
Not in the slightest.
Okay, me neither. I know a few chords though. Chords, but we don't have to be talented because what we're trying to do is trying to gain some fame, make some money. I figured we could start a group. Musical group.
Patrick?
Follow me on this. All right. Clear your mind. Follow me on this. What we do is we need a niche, right? Because we don't have any talent. So
that's quite a niche, yeah.
So we're going to do something that nobody's doing, but this came to me a couple nights ago. So metal. You like metal? Metal music?
No.
You don't?
No, mate. No. This is
you never like.
Yeah,
you never like
trying to follow you. I want to follow you. But I can't. This is. I don't see this working. But I'm keeping an eye.
No, wait. Just wait. Wait for the reveal. So you never listened to like Iron Maiden? Isn't that a British group?
Yeah, I think they're British, but no, I never listened to them.
Never. Okay, well, I wasn't a metal guy. To me, Led Zeppelin was actually metal at the time, and then they got into all the, But here's my thing: metal is still big, right? So, and spiritual music. Religious music's big, right?
Yeah, worship music. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Worship music.
Yeah, well, no, just spiritual music. They have the Dove Awards. People are very successful, singing Christian songs, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to do something nobody's doing. We're going to take metal music and we're going to combine it with some spirituality, and we're going to form a band, and we're going to call it Buddhist Priest.
Buddhist priest? What have you become a pagan? Like what?
No, just nobody's doing that.
Yeah, but why do you think that is? Why do you think no one's come up with that?
They're not idea guys like I am. I will play the power chords. You'll sing, because you can sing a little bit. You sung the nursery rhyme. You're going to play the part of Rob Halford. That's kind of the lead singer of Judas Priest. See, we're combining the two. Are you feeling me on this?
This is, I honestly think it's a horrible idea, but how are we going to practice? We can't practice over noon.
We don't have to practice. We don't have any talent. We're just working the niche. I'm going to write the words. Like I got the first few lines. You want to hear it? Oh, and we'll sing it in a rap kind of way. The words will be rap. So it'll be like straight out of Mandu, Kathmandu. Get it?
Yeah.
Buddhist from Nepal. Right? Straight out of Mandu, don't tell us what we can do. We're out the Himalayas because we're big time players. We wear orange robes because we're looking for the. Okay. I need to work on that a little bit.
Okay, so like we're two guys that live about 4,000 miles apart,
Right.
that have no musical talent. Yeah,
That's the thing.
That want to take a genre of music traditionally associated or often associated with like devil worship, right? Like rightly or wrongly, yeah.
I wouldn't say devil.
Combine that with a Christian worship music kind of
Buddha.
vibe.
Buddha's not Christian.
I know, but why? Like we're Christians. Like the name of our podcast is like too unlike, right? And you want us to start rapping about Buddhism?
No, it's not really rapping about Buddhism. We just rap about kind of world events, with big time plays. I think it'll catch on.
I don't think it will, Pat. I think it's a terrible idea.
All right.
Like,
Leave the door open.
Where do you dredge these ideas up from?
Just, you know what? Don't make a decision on it now. just I'll work on the words.
Well, you like a salesman, like an insurance salesman? Because
I feel like if I force it on you, then when we make it big, it's going to be problems. You know what I mean?
But that was the worst pitch ever. Do you know what I mean? Probably for the worst project ever, worst product ever. Did you run this by Gwen?
Yeah, I did.
What did she say, bro?
She didn't. She just looked at me
and walked out the room.
She didn't walk. She
called her attorney.
She just kind of looked. And
she called her attorney.
I think she was texting her sister. I saw her kind of shaking her head a little bit. So
she was probably texting her pastor. Like, look, I know that like marriage is a covenant before God, and we're supposed to be together forever. But like, I need out. Like, there must be a loophole somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's in those missing books.
I'm sensing you're not wanting to this. I'm sensing you're not as open-minded as I was hoping that you would be. Buddhist Priest. Buddhist Priest. Yeah, straight out of the first album is called Straight Out of Mandu.
Straight Out of Mandu. Right. Yeah. I got a feeling my Wi-Fi connection is going to go down, Patrick, for the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay. You know? Man, loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Buddhist Priest. All you have to do is wear a leather top with no shirt.
I don't want to wear a leather top. I'm not like Pat. I know, like you didn't. Like you were, when we spent time together in the physical realm, right? Like, yeah. So you may not be aware of my physicality, but I can tell you for nothing, I do not lend myself to wearing a leather top with no shirt underneath, like a leather kind of waistcoat or anything like that. That's not going to be, people are not going to want to see that. Do you know what I mean? People aren't going to want to see it. Let's be honest with ourselves. They're not going to want to hear it. It's not going to work, man. Like, I think you've really, look, I really think you need to think about this. I think you need to pray on it. I think you need to talk to your pastor. I think you need to talk to your wife. And I think you really just need to spend some time thinking about what's going on for you in this, man. Do you know what I mean?
So there's a chance. Okay. All right. So apparently this is going to need a little more work before we turn into Simon and Garfunkel. So, all right. Well, let us remind everybody that the path to joy, peace, and happiness is to follow our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We hope everybody has a good day, a good week. Do you have any final thoughts, Richard?
Praise the Lord, man, and particularly on this Easter day, over this Easter weekend, just remembering this is where it all happened, man. Do you know what I mean? This is where it all happened. So
he is risen, and
he is risen, brother. Hallelujah.
Right. Take care, bud.
Take care, man. Speak to you soon. Bye.